Very serious, devastating.
In Dublin, almost nothing was left of this ice rink. Metal frames and
Storm
campus signs
Eowyn.
no match for the winds. While in County Kerry, it was a costly day for this couple, but they know it could have been far worse.
We are very lucky that we are alive. And if this would fall inside,
Northern Ireland and Scotland.
about 3 o'clock.
Weather forecast UK 2025.
It was just the worst nightmare you can have.
Time's down there. Date today's the 25th.
So far,
January.
only one death has been reported.
Saturday.
A man killed by a falling tree.
Morning, guys.
The authorities have said, in general, most people followed official advice and stayed at home. It was the first time there was a red weather warning for the entire island of Ireland, and it was the north that was next in the storm's path. It rolled right over this leisure centre in County Down, 90-mile-per-hour winds reducing it to rubble.
Wow.
Schools were closed. Northern Ireland.
That's 100 miles. That's hurricane
There
winds.
were rude awakenings in Belfast as Eowyn hit in
It's not officially a hurricane though. It's just hurricane winds. But it's not a hurricane. Just a quote on that.
Just a massive bang, basically. And the building, I came and looked out my window, saw across, and just a pile of bricks, pile of masonry on the floor. It just clearly the front whole thing caught in the wind, came down very, very quickly.
By the afternoon, the clear-up had begun, while in Scotland, some places were still in the eye of the storm. Another leisure centre destroyed.
Wow.
All trains cancelled.
Edinburgh.
Flights landing only just.
That's Ryanair.
Second attempt.
Wow.
And driving conditions you maybe shouldn't try driving in.
Whoa.
But some decided to brave it to help restore power to their neighbours.
When we were driving on the coast, there was one point a wave crashed up onto the side of the van and took me from the lane I was in straight over to the curb. Like I actually hit the curb, and then the rain kind of come off the windscreen, and I could see that I moved 2 spaces over.
Weather warnings stayed in place overnight and are only now being lifted. While
Crazy.
not facing the full force of Eowyn, England and Wales were not spared the consequences. Trees were brought down, trains cancelled, roads blocked, and
This is Northern
thousands of
England and
houses
Wales
left
talking
without
about
power.
mainly.
While Storm Eowyn may now have passed, the full extent of the damage is only just beginning to emerge. The clear-up only just underway. Joe Inwood, BBC News.
Crazy weather.
Well, in just a moment, we'll speak to our correspondent, Katrina Renton, who's in Glasgow. First, let's go to our reporter, Kelly Bonner, who's in Bangor for us this morning. So, Kelly, what about that clean-up and what about the problems people are still facing?
Well, Charlie, this was one of the most intense storms to hit the island of Ireland, both here in Northern Ireland.
Over 100
and
more
in the
miles per hour,
Republic. And as we
114 or
understand,
more.
One man in Donegal died after the car that he was travelling in was hit by a fallen tree. Now, we are in Bangor this morning, and this is a multi-million-pound leisure facility, but it could not withstand the 90-mile-an-hour winds that ripped through this town here.
It's amazing.
Taking with it the roof of this
That's
building.
frightening,
It's
though.
still quite windy here today. There was snow around an hour ago also, and we saw scenes like this all across Northern Ireland. In fact, we were in County Antrim yesterday where a tree basically split a home in half. We were standing
Oh my
outside
God.
when a woman
Holy
called us in
moly.
to show us the back of her home. The tree had come right through the house and ripped through the back bedroom and the bathroom.
Oh my
Thankfully,
God.
no one was injured there, but as you can imagine,
Whoa.
the family were pretty much in shock, and the cleanup operation
Blimey.
will take a few days to get through. Now, I must say, tomorrow there is another storm here in Northern Ireland,
Is
a
there?
yellow warning. Now, it's going to see gusts of around 50 to 60 miles an hour, so nothing like the 90 miles an hour that we saw yesterday, but that could hamper some of the cleanup operation that is happening today.
Kelly, thank you very much.
Blimey.
Let's talk to Katrina Renton, who's in
Yes, there isn't a
Glasgow
storm
for
coming
us.
to Marcus
Katrina,
UK.
morning to you.
She's not
What's
wrong
it
about
like where
that.
you are?
I did predict the second storm, guys. Yes, I did predict the second storm on my YouTube channel a few days ago. It's a storm.
Storm Eowyn has
Florence.
blown through, and you can see over there that the River Clyde is absolutely.
I'm always at 85% of right back storms for UK. No joke.
We saw wind winds of over 100 miles per hour yesterday, and believe me, you could feel the power and the force of those winds.
We're going to get gusts here in the southeast, some tomorrow, 40 miles per hour, or 50 miles per hour potentially as well.
One person was
And heavy rain
hurt in
tomorrow
Ayrshire in a
afternoon.
car crash,
I'm not
and
joking.
there was another person who was injured when a van was struck by a falling tree in Glasgow, and there was extensive damage to buildings. And of course, that is what's going to take the time now to clear up. Police Scotland said that
I'm the best
there were
weatherman in the
around
universe, I am.
1,500 weather-related reports to them yesterday. By 6 o'clock yesterday evening, we'll expect an update.
I did predict storm last Saturday on Surrey Hills Race Show and Mark and Silence, Surrey Hills Race Show. And it says a second storm was coming along. It says storm's coming along.
Until midday
28 January.
because of falling debris yesterday that needs to be cleaned up and damage needs to be assessed on
That's
the
next
track.
Monday.
That will take until at least
We're going
midday
on Sunday.
And of course,
Oh,
100,000 people in the country
Oh,
still,
yeah.
we think, without power, and we'll be waiting for them to get reconnected. But of course, still yellow warnings in place, so all of those things have to get fixed before the weather starts to get worse again.
Katrina, thanks very much for that. Katrina Renton there for us in Glasgow. 8 minutes past 7 is the time. Charlie, there is a fragile yet progressive peace or...
This scratch outside Jones, that's what she means. Maybe.